be the example said, the Falcons suck too. And we'll get to them in just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they get their own independent. They're going to be the whole second half of this hour because they will write books about the Atlanta Falcons and the incompetence of whatever that excrement show is. Apparently, YouTube didn't like when I hit the live button, so all the people on YouTube did not hear the opening rant. So let me paraphrase. Caleb Williams sucks something awful. I am physically shocked that a quarterback that was thought to be this generational could be this bad with the amount of talent around him. Then you factor in the fact of what would he be if he didn't have that? Let's just say he had gone to the Panthers or to the Jets or one of these, the
Raiders.
Jaguars or the Raiders. He's terrible with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift and Rome Odunze and a pretty good defense. He has all of those advantages and is still absolutely awful.
Usually this is where I would step in and say, oh, but wait, he's got so much more growing to do. I can't even bring myself to say that about him anymore. Like, I like to give guys the benefit of the doubt of, well, maybe, I mean, he's only had, 14 games under his belt, but it doesn't get any better. Like, I haven't seen any of the glimpses of genius.
Yeah, if you tried to sell me on that, I would understand the plight of many women across America. He's going to grow. No, he's not.
Nah.
No, he's not. What you see is what you get, and it ain't much. So, it's Caleb Williams in a nutshell. Boo! He sucks on the ice. He's, to be 100% honest with you, he's worse than I thought he was. I did not think he was this bad, and I spent 6 solid months trying to tell people, don't do this. Don't do it. You will regret it.
And here you are.
And here you are.
Regretting away. Because you have no, I mean, your only option now is to try to find a coach who wants to deal with this. And that's going to be the biggest impediment to somebody getting your job.
It's not Ben Johnson.
No.
I guarantee you Ben Johnson did not watch last night going, yeah, let me dig my teeth into that. That'll be fun.
Do you think Cliff Kingsbury, his name's been mentioned with this job as well?
Well, he was at USC with Caleb.
Yeah, but
that's who you're going to get.
Really? You think he's going to take it?
You have to sell somebody. All right. I'm an analogy man. An analogy man, big on analogies. It's one thing to try to sell your friend, like you try to set your friend up on a date. You try to sell him on the girl that, I don't know, she just set her ex-boyfriend's house on fire with him in it. That's a tough sell. It's a really tough sell when they knew we're going in. Oh, yeah, I saw that coming. Yeah, that's where a lot of this is. Because my take on Caleb Williams, I saw a lot of it on tape. And then it was reinforced with all of my scout friends that told me the exact same thing. And I went, okay, it's not just me. Not just me. So you're going to have to get somebody, you're going to sell somebody on him that probably had to have a pretty good feeling about him going in because it's been so bad now that if you were on the fence, you're on the other side now. Elliot Spencer asked, what would the Bears look like with Jaden Daniels? How do I put this delicately? A hell of a lot better than what I saw last night. I still couldn't tell you it would be great. It would be markedly better.
It'd be a whole lot better. It'd be a whole lot more fun to watch, and you might actually have a chance at a playoff spot. I mean, he's got the Washington Commanders at 9-5.
What position are the Commanders actually better at than the Bears?
I don't.
The Bears don't have a Terry McLaurin.
No. But they do have a Keenan Allen and a DJ Moore. I mean, that
and a Rome Odunze.
Right. That all kind of comes together to go, that core, that unit is better than Washington.
Caleb Williams he snaps it, and then he looks like an old man reading the newspaper of no need to rush, just look looking for the funnies. And the next thing you know, he just gets absolutely eviscerated.
Right.
This is a disaster.
This team would be much better with Jaden Daniels.
I don't know that they would. I think the Bears are cursed.
You think so?
I'm starting to think, and I don't know what you got out of it. Maybe that Rex Grossman Super Bowl appearance, not win.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you got. I know what the Jets got. Joe Namath met Krampus and Satan and John F. Kennedy on the streets of Miami in 1969 and sold his soul. I understand that. I don't know what you got out of this, but you're just as cursed as we are. You trade hijack to the Carolina Panthers. You got DJ Moore, this superstar receiver that you absolutely had to pay. And look around. Do you feel much better about the Bears right now than you do about the Panthers? Because I personally do not.
No. I don't. And where this goes from here is the most interesting part to me, because you're going looking for a coach, and why do I feel like this is going to end up being like the Mike Vrabel job?
No, Mike Vrabel's good.
He's not taking
I actually have intel on Mike Vrabel that I'll give you later in the show.
Oh,
and it has nothing to do with the Chicago Bears.
Really? Okay.
Vrabel's going to be super in demand.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a team that fires their coach just to get a crack at Mike Vrabel.
Okay. I don't know who's lining up for this.
Cliff Kingsbury. You already said it. That's the name that makes sense, because the Bears have already told you it has to be an offensive guy. You want me to tell you the funny thing
if you're Cliff Kingsbury, don't you know that he can't do this? Don't you know that he can't do this in the NFL?
No, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, you're looking around going, I can save him.
Oh.
Everybody liked Caleb Williams better than the quarterback that I just made the Messiah of Washington. I can fix it and be the chosen one.
I don't think he can. I don't think he can, and I don't know that he believes he can.
Cliff Kingsbury looks around and goes, I can do anything I set my mind to.
Maybe.
I got marble floors, bruh.
But if I hang around Washington and do one more year, then what are my options after that? See, that's where I would be thinking of, this is my last shot.
You got to remember, there's going to be a bunch of jobs come open.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of offensive guys out there. Ben Johnson is the 12 at the bar that I don't have to go home with any of you. But if one of you's going to win, you best put your best foot forward. So he can be super picky. The rest of you are scrambling for offensive scraps, and Cliff Kingsbury's at the top of that heap. We have 2 super chats before we go into the first commercial break.
All right. Give me just 1 second here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
First one's from Soaring Eagle. He said, if I'm Arthur Blank, I'm pulling Raheem Morris in my office and saying, you're either going to give it to Michael Penix Jr. before the end of this here program is done, or your house is going on the market right meow. I can't tell you you're wrong. Kirk Cousins looks like he is filming Weekend at Bernie's 3. It's Weekend at Kirky's. And they're holding him up by a series of rope and pulleys to make him wave his arms.
Mm-hmm.
He looks horrifically terrible.
He aged so quickly in 1 year.
He aged at a rate that Tank Spencer even looked at and went, dude, you look bad. I am a 42-year-old man that looks 70, and you look bad.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Heyman Report said the Bears are going to need a GM on top of a head coach. How will the McCaskies falafel it up this time? I don't know that it's going to be a falafel up.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're going to have to hire who will take your job, and I don't think there's as many of those as you think. Because you look around at other jobs, which would you rather have, the Jaguars or the Bears?
Ooh.
I have excised the expectations with Chicago because our fan base thinks it was all Matt Eberflus and the right coach will come in here and save the quarterback. Meanwhile, the quarterback's not very good. or I can go down here to an actual generational talent. And if I'm as good offensively as I think I am, and I can fix the offense, the defense has talent. I mean, yeah, I have to work for two crazy people that are professional wrestling yard barkers, but got more talent than you do.
They're not turning this over to Thomas Brown. We know that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Poor Thomas.
Thomas, buddy, you put a lot of credits in the account making the offense look competent for a couple weeks, and then you went on a big old bender and you spent all those credits, and now your checking account is about $10,000 overdrawn.
All right, we got one more super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
This one's also from Eamon Report, who said, Mike Vrabel, meet Drake May. Robert Kraft has to be thinking about it right now. Mayo is an epic fail in New England. Well, I guess now's as good a time as any. That's exactly the coach I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Did you see Gerard Mayo on the podium after the Cardinals game?
No, what did he do?
So it was 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. They got stopped, I think, on the 4-yard line. And it was two just standard handoffs to Ramondre Stevenson. Pool reporter asked Gerard Mayo, do you not think that you should have used your mobile quarterback, Drake May, there at some point? Run his own reads, something that's not just straight handoffs with how bad your offensive line was? His response was, you said it, not me. And he just stared at the guy like, I agree with everything you just said. He's tried to backpedal it. Gerard Mayo, I think I was wrong on how good of a coach he could be. Here's where I wasn't wrong. I have never in my life seen a coach handle the media this poorly, and it has rubbed Robert Kraft the wrong way. And yeah, I said that on purpose. It's the last day for Christmas. Mm-hmm. If you get mad at me today, you got like 3 weeks to get over it.
He's been that bad with the media that
I don't think he
feels
survives
like it's
it.
an embarrassment.
I really don't. I don't think he survives it. When you're coming after your coordinator in press conferences, that's a bad sign. And that's you didn't watch Cardinals Patriots, I'm assuming.
No, I mean
they showed the Kraft family multiple times. At one point, the son was sitting here doing this, like, go faster. What are you doing? That's a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
And the rumblings on this have been out there for a few weeks. I just didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Now I'm reading tea leaves.
Well, now you're also at the point, if you're Robert Kraft, of, okay, well, Drake looks this good. Right, let's get him an actual leader. What can happen if I actually put a team around him? What can happen if, we're picking at the top of the draft and we can go get Travis Hunter and we can match him up with Gonzalez, and away we go with the quarterback of the future, and let's go get a quarterback or a coach who knows how to play this game.
And you can match up Mike Vrabel with Josh McDaniels, and you'll just have a reunion for the ages.
Oh, look at that.
That's the rumor. That's exactly what's coming here. And that's the reason that you haven't seen a lot of staff appointments for the North Carolina Tar Heels, because apparently a lot of the guys that Bill wants are looking at Mike Vrabel going, he could wind up back in Foxborough. We still like Mr. Kraft. We know you don't, because he threw you under all 18 wheels of this tractor trailer. But we're still good. Mm-hmm. He still invited us to the Christmas party. He got us a lovely gift. We did not rub him the wrong way. You did.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Don't do the gesture. You almost did, and don't do that. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's like a child. You tell him not to do it, he's going to do it anyway. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Thank God it's the last show before the Christmas break. We'll be right back.
Jeff Dunham, artificial intelligence, his all-new tour.
Just don't have. You're the other white meat.
Robert J., how can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss him, Asheville. February 5th, Harris Cherokee Center. Tickets on sale now only at JeffDunham.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a slick machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 60 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best deal of the year when you go to bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine, premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail. For Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year, only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4 VICTIMS.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're gonna be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Still on the Fence. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Back live in the Ingalls studio.
You got me focused on the emu.
I wonder if
want to go get a dust mop and put a beak on it.
I just feel like that'd be fun.
Call
It'd be a fun web series, the Timu Emu. And it moos like a cow.
And he only talks to me.
Anyhow, welcome into the program. It is the final edition of the Sportsocracy before the Christmas holidays.
It's worked for no less than 7 cult leaders. I think I could make it work. You can't hear Mr. Timu Emu. Only I can. And you have to do what he tells me to tell you to do.
Yes, yes. We have a couple more super chats in the YouTubes.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Matt, glad he could make it before Christmas. Just wanted to say Happy Christmas and go Broncos. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Matt. And your Broncos are going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
And the second super chat is about those Denver Broncos. And I'm not going to lie, I can't disagree with the word he said here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Soaring Eagle, I remember a few weeks ago, Jeremy said the Bears took the third best quarterback at 1. I'm here to tell you they actually took the fourth best quarterback at 1. Because Bo Nix is light years better than Caleb Williams. Right now, he is.
No doubt. In the art of playing NFL quarterback, Bo Nix is a genius compared to Caleb Williams.
For sure. I mean, now that's not saying much right now. The only thing I would forewarn you of is do not go full Gary Busey and confuse the ceiling for the floor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. I was waiting on it. Peyton Manning threw 28 picks in his rookie year. Yes, we know.
He did. Peyton Manning also was asked to do a whole lot. And right now, Caleb Williams is asked to do about 5% of what an NFL quarterback actually does. That's the biggest problem, is that you're this bad and you're super safe. It's not like he's taking risks. He's just not good. He doesn't trust his eyes. And a lot of these things are not things that get better. It's one thing if you go full Jameis Winston, you're used to being the best player on every field you've ever been on, and you go full Brett Favre, shotgun Charlie of I can make every throw and throw a ton of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I can get over that. Because every quarterback outside of Jameis Winston and a handful of others, I can rein you back in, still keep the arm talent, and be fine. The problem with Caleb Williams, he trusts nothing he sees. He can't read a defense. He has no clue. There are times, and I saw this on the All-22 last night, there are times that he looks at a defense. And the way to dumb this down for quarterbacks that are not particularly good at this, you just start watching the safeties. The safeties will always tell you what's happening. He can't read that. They had a play last night. They were about the 40-yard line. I could see it in just his mannerisms. He had absolutely no clue what was coming. He's looking at Minnesota's defense. And if you told him, we'll give you $100,000 for every one of these guys that you get right as to whether they're blitzing, dropping, or on a man, he would have wound up with $0 because he didn't know.
That's a pretty difficult defense to read, though, isn't it? I mean, they've got that one kid I was watching last night. I think he played on every level of the defense at some point. 44. I can't remember his name. Metellus. Josh Metellus. Yeah. I think at one point they flashed up a graphic of all of the snaps that he's taken throughout the season. He's played like 37 snaps at defensive tackle, but he's also played like 200 snaps at corner.
Yeah.
Of course, things like that are always going to be difficult for rookie quarterbacks to read.
Not like this.
I'm saying it, it has an effect, so that's why he's even worse when he faces a confusing defensive scheme.
No quarterback in the NFL should be that bumfuzzled by defense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it looks very confusing to the average fan. You're not an NFL quarterback. Minnesota, it tips itself. All you have to do is move pre-snap. It will tip itself just like every other defense will. I know it looks different. You shouldn't be that lost. He is.
Mm-hmm.
He is completely out to lunch.
Yep.
And if I was a Bears fan, I can't believe you've done it to me again. I cannot believe between Jay Cutler, Justin Fields, now Caleb Williams, all the litany of other quarterbacks we've had over the years, you pulled the rug out from underneath me again. And I'll just go ahead and tell you this. You're no better off than you were with Justin Fields. I could make the argument you're in worse shape.
Right.
Because Fields at least was such an unbelievable athlete that he could move the ball. It was gross to watch, and you were never winning high-level games that way. But at least you could move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
There are times with this receiving core, you're not threatening to anybody.
The thing that made Caleb Williams stand out so much in the draft process and the Heisman process and just the highlight nature of college football were the crazy plays that he made. I think of all of those passes that he threw 70 yards down the field because he took the snap, backtracked 20 yards, running away from the defense. He was fast enough to beat everybody out to an open spot where he could finally, kind of set feet and then launch it down the field. Those were most of his big highlight Heisman-type plays. The problem is he's doing the same thing in the NFL. Only it feels like most of the time he's not running from the pressure. He's just running. He's just trying to run to an open spot. Meanwhile, the defense is going, where the hell's he going on this play? We're rushing from one side. He's trying to run around us to get to the other side of the pass rush. It's almost like he sets in his mind sometimes where he's going to go.
Oh, no doubt.
Right, as soon as I snap this ball, I'm going to have to roll out to the right or roll out to the left. I'm going to look for so-and-so, and if I can't see him, hopefully I can look on the other side of the field for the next option. Only problem is by the time he's worked his way through that half-assed progression, he's getting killed. He's either getting killed or he's having to throw it away or run out of bounds. I don't see any real hope here. And as Jeremy said, once again, Bears fans got duped.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in this, and now you're right back in the never-ending cycle of now you're going to have to match a quarterback with a GM and a coach, and that's only going to last 2 years as well.
And it's so hard to do because you got to find all these guys that are on the same page, that are willing to take your job. It's bad.
Yep.
It's real bad.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a tenth of an inch or so. Most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500. Discount on eligible product only and reflected in quote. Restrictions apply. See Pro Desk for details. MVP's Pro Rewards program subject to terms.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingalls studio. Time to get just a bit outside, and he's doing it as I figured he would. Conor McGregor is getting back in the boxing ring. Only he's not taking the fight that I wanted him to take. I wanted him to take the fight with Jake Paul so we could finally shut that kid up. But that's not going to happen. He is going to fight a Paul, though. It's Logan Paul. Conor McGregor has said that he has committed to delay his return to MMA, which at this point should he even come back to MMA?
I think we're good.
I don't know.
I think your return to MMA would be a lot like your role in Roadhouse. Grossly overrated.
Oh, it was cheesy, but it was good. Conor,
pretty terrible.
No, it's fine. Conor McGregor is going to fight Logan Paul in India. We don't have a date on the fight just yet.
We're just doing Mad Libs now, aren't we?
We are.
The North Carolina Tar Heels are going to be coached by Bill Belichick. Logan Paul and Conor McGregor are going to fight in India. Stop! Just stop with all of this, please. Won't somebody please think of the children?
Yep. Apparently, Logan has been boxing as well. I didn't know this. Apparently, he's taken part in some exhibition fights. I was not aware. Of course, you may know him as the United States champion in WWE.
I don't. I know him as that annoying jackal that's on my television way too often.
You're gonna have to get up to speed on old Logan Paul if you're gonna start enjoying Superstar Saturday Night again.
Pass.
Really?
Yeah, I'm good. Even if it does involve Jesse the Body Ventura. I've been down in the Baja. Did you hear what he said about the jacket he was wearing?
Oh no.
We actually made this jacket out of Damien, Jake the Snake Roberts' old snake. He kicked the bucket, and I made a jacket out of him.
Of course he did, because he's a crazy man.
And they brought back the winged title belt for one night. Is it bad that WWE's like the fourth most entertaining sporting thing in the world right now?
I want to know who's got a higher body count. Is it Jesse the Body Ventura, or is it RFK Jr.?
People that they've killed or people that they've slept with?
No,
because body count could mean two different things.
Just their body. I mean, you got one making jackets out of snakes. You got the other one catching snakes in his driveway, picking up dead bears on the turnpike.
Jake made me angry one day, so I took his snake, I stuffed it, and I waited for 20 years to make a jacket out of it.
I found this bear on the highway, and I decided that I'd just bring him to Central Park.
I just want Alex Jones to moderate a conversation between Jesse the Body Ventura and RFK. The government, it's scaring all of us. Go! My own government left me in the Baja.
I don't believe in vaccines.
I don't either, but I don't say it out loud because they think I'm crazy.
I have no idea where the story started or where it's ending.
I have no idea what your story was, but I can do this for the next 2 hours and 20 minutes and call it a Christmas.
Just call it Christmas.
Just call it Christmas.
Conor McGregor, Logan Paul will fight at some point in India. We don't know when. You can choose to buy it if you want to. I wouldn't. DC Streams, hit us up. We'll tell you how to watch it.
For sure, for wage. It's one of the greatest values in all of television. You do it, you watch all the sporting events you want, and you don't give your money to the government. My story is about Michael Vick, and I didn't know that I was going to be doing this today. But apparently Michael Vick has an agent team that is really good, if not maybe wildly inaccurate. I'm sure you saw the report from Adam Schefter that said Sacramento State is interested in Michael Vick.
Yeah, they want to pour like $50 million into a new stadium and NIL. And
only one problem with that. None of it's true.
Really?
Sacramento State has $50 million laying around for a potential move to the Pac-12 that has nothing to do with NIL.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows anything about NIL should probably have known that. I'm not going to lie to you. I saw this story last night. And as soon as I read it, I went, something about that doesn't pass the sniff test. And then I went back and went, I feel like Michael Vick was up for another job. Oh, he was. Norfolk State. 5 hours before this dropped. This is all a power play for money. He wants the Norfolk State job. I don't really know why, but he does.
It's close to home.
Yeah, okay. Michael Vick doesn't strike me as the I'm going to take the safe job because it's close to home guy. Being close to home got him in trouble one time before, if I remember correctly.
It's also a small kind of school where he can maybe get away with bending some rules.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to suggest that he would. Well,
easy now. Wait a minute. Don't put that foot in that mouth too soon. Oh, he's a stand-up guy.
Got that dog in him. I don't know. I'm more curious of, do I actually think this would work?
Yes.
But why? Why would this work?
Because, I mean, stars work. Stars work now. In the new era of Deion Sanders, this works.
But Deion had been a coach.
Yeah. But he wasn't when he went to Jackson State.
He had been a coach then. He was a high school coach. Your first job ever being head coach of an FCS program feels a bit aggressive to me.
Eddie George, didn't he? Was he a coach before he went to where did he go? Moorhead or Tennessee State or
he's at Tennessee State.
Tennessee State.
I think he had done some coaching. I don't remember. I have to look at it.
I mean, look, it's got to start somewhere.
This is
if you're a name like Eddie George or Deion Sanders, I don't think you're. Jason Witten is another guy that I've always heard rumored to be in like head coaching searches. Never seen him interview for a job, but his name seems to get brought up a lot.
This is a great time for a yearly Sportsocracy PSA. And I give credit to this for our buddy Nate Brown, who taught me a lot in the short period of time that he was our third on this here particular program. And one of the things he taught me is just because guys run a 4.440 does not mean that they are brilliant when it comes to the intricacies of the NFL.
Correct.
Or college football or anything like that.
Correct.
Do not mistake a guy was a phenomenal athlete for a guy as a phenomenal coach. Here is what I mean by that. Deion Sanders is not a great coach. Deion Sanders is a great master marketer, which is exactly what he's doing. He has marketed Colorado as a program that is cool. He's got Warren Sapp. He just added the #1 defensive player in the portal. Do you know what he said when he committed? Why in the world would I not want to go play with Warren Sapp? And I can't remember. There's another guy on the staff that played in the NFL. He's the actual defensive line coach. I'll Google it in the break. That's what he did. Can Michael Vick do that? I have no idea. But this idea that we can just find any mid to late 2000s athlete that was super popular and just implant him as the head of an organization like this, that's going to lead to bad way more often than it's going to lead to good.
Nick Williams, is that the coach you were looking for?
It may have been the assistant. You talk.
Okay.
I'll find it.
All right. You find the coach that you look. In a world where NIL now exists, I think I think more and more teams are going to be interested in doing stuff like this. Bringing in a figurehead. Somebody that, okay, so let's see. Can Michael Vick coach? I have no idea. Do I think Michael Vick might know some good coaches? Might be able to bring some good coaches to come help us out at Norfolk State.
There's a big dadgum difference between Colorado, Sacramento State, and Norfolk State. Because if you look back at what this is Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Could make the argument the most powerful athlete of the last 50 years.
Yes.
In terms of ability to market a brand. He did not have the guys like Warren Sapp and guys like that at Jackson State.
Right.
That came when he got to Colorado because you don't have the money.
Right.
And NIL, they don't have any money.
Yet. We don't have any money yet.
They're not going to. Let me dispel
Norfolk
that myth
State's
right
not
now.
going to be able to raise money off of this.
Not like this.
Well, of course he's not gonna be able to raise
you're
money
raising
like
money at
Colorado.
Norfolk State is having $500,000 to build your athletic program. Because right now they have 0.
Mm-hmm.
You're not coming up with $20 million. And that $50 million number from Sacramento State, the only reason that it was so easy for me and several other people in the media to track this down and go, that doesn't make any sense, is because it was so blatantly obvious. There is no program in the country like Sacramento State that can raise money like that.
No.
None of them. That you're going to – what you put out there was that you had $50 million in NIL. That was not true. Let me tell you how I think this went. That $50 million number came up in a negotiation with Sacramento State. They reached out. They wanted to have a preliminary talk. We have $50 million preparing for a move to the Pac-12 when they jump up to FBS in a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Agency heard $50 million. Floods it to Adam Schefter. Makes sense. We know you talked. The only problem is that one of those lines didn't make any sense. You overplayed your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really bad sign because that's something Deion Sanders would never do. Ever.
He would never overplay his hand?
Not like that. Not in such an obvious way. Tank, I'm a moron from Asheville, North Carolina. I cut through that story in 10 minutes.
Okay.
During one bathroom break. Did you notice Adam Schefter, all of a sudden that kind of filtered away? It's because he probably did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out there. The more information that developed, okay, something here is not passing the smell test. It's not a good idea. I put this on our social media. I was dumbfounded by how many people said, I didn't even know what Sacramento State was. You're right. For that part of this, that may not be a bad thing. In terms of, are you going to win games? No. No, you won't. Your only hope is that you have 1 or 2 years where you can build that program out to win 8 games, enough to make an FBS school go, ooh, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders didn't win at the highest levels of FBS or of FCS, excuse me. He set that program up to win.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State just won the Celebration Bowl 2 years after he left.
Was it 2 years after? I thought he was in it when he was coaching.
He was in it and lost.
Oh, he lost. Okay. You got to start somewhere.
And secret time, Jackson State and Sacramento State, way different.
Mm-hmm. And I feel
level
like
of competition,
I feel,
way different.
I feel like a lot of these former athletes that might have some, what do you call it, cachet, maybe looking to do this. You break into a lower level college program and see if you can turn it into something. Not that program, but your career. It's all about a coaching career.
Kelvin Joyner said, guys, we're talking about Norfolk. It's not exactly the highest level of competition. Exactly.
No, of course not.
And could he win 8 games there and try to parlay this into something bigger? Maybe.
That's the goal.
It would be really unnerving to me. I'm never a fan. One of the things that I have learned since I came into media, there is an unwritten code of there are certain things that people tell you, they're not meant for public consumption. People that know how to play this game, they know to tell you that. There are things that are up here that can never go in here, pointing to head and into microphone. Once they happen, and I've been able to tell Tank some of them over the years, I can't say it into a microphone. I can't leak it to Adam Schefter. That's a bad sign. I won't be shocked if he winds up with neither one of them.
Could be. Could be. Mike Vick, is he going to be a head coach or not? Apparently trying to play Sacramento State and lie. His agents, anyway.
I was going to say, I don't know that he lied about anything.
Right. About the money that was getting poured into that program. Okay.
The Sacramento State has the Sacramento State has more NIL money than SMU has. That was not hard to cut through.
Right. Right. That was said of, we got $50 million to make the move to FBS. And, of course, it got lost in translation, or it got twisted intentionally to make people think that was a big thing.
We have 2 more Super Chats.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Sir Jimothy, Caleb Williams is just the NFC's version of Tua Tagovailoa. I think Tua Tagovailoa is light years ahead of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Caleb Williams is the NFC's version of Anthony Richardson.
That's more apt.
I don't disagree that you have all the physical talent in the world. I've never seen you do anything that makes me think you're actually an NFL starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're super athletic. Hate to break it to you. There's 53 of those guys on every single one of these teams. Your athleticism ain't going to get you there.
Yeah, comparing Caleb Williams to Tua is an insult to Tua.
I would agree. I know why he's saying it, of just the hype machine, and he's never going to live up to the hype. I get that.
Yep.
I would say Anthony Richardson's more of an apt comparison. And then we got one more.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Do you see this one?
From Sir Jimothy?
I don't understand it. That sounds like a movie reference or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Mr. Missing White Suit. Vic gets more hate than Mr. Missing White Suit. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what
Hopefully
that means.
That's not some kind of code that's going to get me in trouble. Sir Jimothy, if you want to explain that, you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Good for all the jokes, all the dog jokes in the chat. Good job for you guys. Picking up on that Mike Vick line.
Oh, right. He's talking about Ray Lewis, the white suit that he was wearing when the event happened.
Oh yeah,
and then the suit just okay.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, that's just kind of how it goes. Right?
That was a deep cut B-roll reference. So just for future reference, you might want to elaborate on those.
Right. I don't know. Call him the linebacker who didn't kill someone. I don't know. I don't know how else you would didn't with the air quote.
I see what you're doing there.
Right. It's all reasonable doubt, right? You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back from the top of the hour, we're going to take some time to check in on, well, the biggest story in the sports world in the state of North Carolina. Oh, God, you probably have to go all the way back to Michael Jordan hitting the shot to beat Georgetown in the national championship when you had a story this huge coming out of Chapel Hill. We'll talk with the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones Angel, coming up after the top of the hour break here. He will give us the lowdown on what life has been like in Chapel Bill since the announcement was made that Bill Belichick is going to be the next head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. We tried to talk to him on the day that it got announced, and he went, I can't. I just don't. I'll give you a call when I got time. So we're going to hook up with him after the break here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Volunteer organizations may also be able to help. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-3362. Again, FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Call 1-800-621-3362.
This holiday season, let's spread love that goes beyond Christmas. When you give to the Salvation Army of Asheville, you're not just helping provide food, shelter, and gifts during the holidays, you're giving hope that lasts all year. Your generosity supports families in need, offering them a brighter future. Donate to the Salvation Army of Asheville online today and be the reason that someone feels loved and supported. Not just this Christmas, but all year long.
More than 4,500 wildfires burn across North Carolina every year. 99% of these wildfires are the result of human activities like backyard burning and campfires. That means most of our state's wildfires are avoidable. We need your help. 1. Never burn on a dry, windy day or leave your fire unattended. 2. Keep a water source, shovel, rake, and phone nearby. 3. Have a valid burn permit. You are our best defense. Learn more. Visit ncforestservice.gov. ncforestservice.gov.
Come see the Shadrack's Drive-Thru Light Show at the Tryon Equestrian Center. And back this year, you can pick up your $5 off coupon at your local Ingalls store. Enjoy hundreds of thousands of twinkling lights while enjoying classic Christmas music in your car. It's the Shadrack's Drive-Thru Light Show, powered by Stoller Power Solutions.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a 1/10 of an inch or so. Most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Are you going to start the new year dealing with the same old joint pain, losing sleep, not able to take walks, or do what you love because your knees or hips? Don't do it. Take action now to get the pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call QC Kinetics now. Say goodbye to shoulder and back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols and regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people. I'm talking lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints. No more pain pills, no more steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. This is the future of medicine. If you've been told surgery is your best or only option, you deserve a second opinion. Find out if all-natural regenerative medicine is right for you. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free, and you can use HSA and FSA dollars. Live your best life in 2025. Get started now. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
That looks perfect. The feeling of getting ready for the holidays, there's nothing like it. Decorating the tree, accessorizing the table, adorning your walls with festive decor, what could be better? Whether you're doing the hosting this holiday or just enjoying some much-needed downtime with your favorites, at Ashley you'll find all the things you need to make your home as jolly as can be at prices that slay. Spruce up your space for the holidays with Ashley. Visit your local Ashley or shop online at ashley.com.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
We'll come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. ESPN Asheville, your home for Tar Heels basketball and football. And tonight there's a big basketball game coming up, but we had to, before we get into the basketball, it's weird that football takes precedence over basketball for once in Chapel Hill, but here we are. Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us on ESPN Asheville. How you been, man?
Tank, I've been doing great. Great to talk with you guys again. And, of course, normally we do this on a weekly basis, but you guys have had plenty of challenges off the court, shall we say, this year. And hope that I know the recovery is not complete, but hope that some steps are being taken and some normalcy is returning as best it can for everybody in the Asheville area. And just know that everybody here in the Triangle is still thinking about you guys and willing to help as much as we can. And so great to be back with you. And, it's a busy time for the Tar Heels with basketball coming up tonight, huge football news, of course, and just trucking along, seeing if we can get this thing figured out.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the well wishes and all the help that you can keep sending our way. We will absolutely take it because there are a lot of people in the area that still need that help, and we're trying to see that as many people get to it or are gotten to as possible here. But the big news last week: Bill Belichick. I did not have that on my bingo card this year, that Bill Belichick would be trying to set up a college football dynasty, especially in Chapel Hill. How did this all come together?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tank, and it really just boils down to Bill Belichick wanted to coach, and when this opening became available, I'm not 100% sure that he was necessarily on the Tar Heels' radar either. But contact was made that he would love to talk to Carolina about the position, and I don't think you'd be very smart if you turned that opportunity down. And so I don't even know, and I honestly don't know this answer, Tank. I don't know if Carolina took that interview anticipating much would happen other than, hey, this is obviously, if somebody like this is interested, then you should talk to them at a minimum. And if nothing else, just get an opportunity to have an audience with them and talk to them and pick their brain a little bit. But things accelerated pretty quickly after that to the point where we are now, that Bill Belichick's the head coach of the Tar Heels. And certainly I don't think it was necessarily a move that many people saw coming. I do think, Tank, in addition to Coach Belichick just wanting to get back into the game, I think the circumstances around college football now lend that opportunity to people like him much more than perhaps in the past. And by that I mean college football is essentially pro football at this point. You have a salary cap, if you will, as far as how much NIL money that you have. You have player movement to the extreme, even more so than in professional football. And so that there's just some parts of college football that aren't what we think of as like the good old amateur college football. That's gone. And so for somebody who has that level of experience at the professional level and has the infrastructure around him as far as the staff, the people, the knowledge of how to be successful in that kind of environment, I think lends itself to people like Bill Belichick having a more realistic opportunity to be successful in the college game. And so, for Carolina, I think the Tar Heels realized that, look, they've been trying for a long time to be consistently good in football. And there have been some great seasons and great moments, but Carolina is normally just pretty good, right? Like the Heels are normally between 5 wins and 8 wins and go to a bowl game, and that's kind of where they've lived in the history of their program. And there have been some outliers on both sides of that, good and bad. but I think they want more consistent excellence. And in just about every other sport in Chapel Hill, it's been proven that it can occur, that you can compete at a national level for conference and national championships. And that's what the Tar Heels hope to do on the football side of this things. And then last thing I'll say, Tank, is I do think that it's a massive commitment from Carolina, the financial commitment for Coach Belichick himself, for the staff, for the personnel around him, for the players. It's a huge investment from Carolina fans, from the University of North Carolina, for Carolina athletics. It's a huge investment, and they are looking to pay off on that investment here in the next several years.
Well, you knew it was going to have to come down to this point, I'm glad that it came down to this point, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is that, if you're going to try to play the game, you want to try to play the game, right? You want to make the biggest splash possible. You want to make the biggest investment possible, because that's the name of the game right now. The name of the game is, how much does it matter to you? The SEC uses that term. It just means more. Well, the football programs in the SEC keep racking up national championships, and after the SEC ACC basketball challenge, how can you not look at the SEC and what they've built over there, especially with all of the things that they can provide their other sports, because they own football so much? I feel like this was a necessary move that, if it was in your grasp, you had to take it. Like you said, you'd be dumb not to.
Well, and I do think, let's be honest, a lot of this discussion is financial.
Yeah.
And I think there is no question, and you could see this coming from the SEC basketball side of things for the last several years, that the level of coaches that they have hired in that league, there's excellent coaches. Mm-hmm. The level of players that they have, and that is, it's not like all of a sudden Mississippi State and Texas A&M just got good at basketball, right? It's not like they have some rich history of being good in that sport. That they have more money, and so they're able to get more players and have excellent coaches and have the staff around them to provide the infrastructure to be successful. It is not a complicated system as far as how it happens. Now it's complicated to find the money sometimes, and that's been, of course, a long-standing discussion here over the last 5, 7, 10 years of college athletics, of the financial disparity and how long could the ACC, how long could some of these other conferences compete when they were being at when they were in such a financial deficit compared to their peers, or the teams that are supposed to be their peers on the court and on the field. And I think you have certainly seen that play out in basketball this season, and Carolina's had a front court or a front row seat to it. Carolina's played Auburn, they've played Alabama, they're going to play Florida tonight, and these are excellent teams. And just by looking at them, even if you're not a huge basketball fan, you could look at the teams and say, that team is much bigger and longer and looks more athletic. And when you can bring those type of waves of players, that's how you are as successful as a lot of those teams have been this year. And it's legit. These are excellent teams. They, for the most part, that conference has played terrific opponents, and they've beaten them. And they have proven that right now they have the best teams from top to bottom, to the point where I think South Carolina right now is, quote unquote, in last in SEC, in last place in basketball, and they're like 7-3 and probably better than 2/3 of the other power conference teams. Mm-hmm. And so it is just where it is right now, and it does go back to success in football. And I think that speaks to Carolina realizing that the moment was now. You have to be successful in football and men's basketball to be successful athletic-wide at this point, because they are the only two sports that make money. Now, there's a couple outliers. Women's basketball can be profitable and is at a couple places. Hockey is profitable at other places. But for the most part, it's football and men's basketball. And so for Carolina, the Tar Heels have long been profitable and successful, and Carolina makes more money off men's basketball than most places do because it's successful and has a big arena that it fills up and all those different things. But the Heels have left too many opportunities on the table, both as far as wins and losses and financially on the football side of things, to be able to continue to compete. And so Carolina said, look, the time is now. We've got to try and do this. And I think that's what you see with this all-in approach that the Tar Heels have made.
Now, if you're just tuning in and join Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us on the program after the news that Bill Belichick is now going to be the new head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. There is a new structure, an organizational structure there. You've got a GM of the program and all of this. I want to know, Jones, in the last few days, have you gotten the opportunity to sit down with Coach Belichick, and what is your access to him going to be like?
So the short answer is no. We had an interview scheduled that then just got there were just too many things going on, and so we are hoping to get a sit down with him next week for our podcast here and just to chat with him some. Obviously, I had the opportunity to introduce him at the basketball game the other day and just briefly spoke to him there, but nothing of substance past just the greeting and a couple of quick words. I have had the opportunity to sit down at with Michael Lombardi, the new general manager for Carolina football, and somebody that's worked with Coach Belichick for a long time, and really enjoyed my conversation with him just about some of the scouting structure, the organizational structure, kind of program building, team building that Carolina is hoping to achieve and implement here moving forward. And I think you've seen it in some of these public interviews that Coach Belichick's done, with the McAfee show and some other things, that it is very much going to be a professional model for Carolina, and they will be, even right down to the team building, be modeling their positions and the way that they value those spots monetarily and what they're doing as far as building that team personnel-wise, as if they were doing it for a professional team. Now, obviously, you're dealing with different level of players, and not every player at Carolina is going to go to the NFL, and there are going to have to be some adjustments just because you're dealing with a different type of player at the college level compared to the professional level. But I think the ideas, the goals, the structure will be very similar to how it has happened for Coach Belichick and Michael Lombardi and others at that professional level in the past.
Yeah, listening to Adam Gold the other day, he had I chuckled when I heard him ask the question, you think Bill Belichick's going to do a college coaches show? That just doesn't seem to be in his personality or realm. But, hey, if anybody can pull it off, Jones, it's you.
Well, and, it's funny. I don't know. There is a lot of interest about that for some reason. Yeah. And the short answer is just it hasn't been decided yet.
Right.
That right now there was so much of a rush to get just things in place so Coach Belichick and the staff that he does have here currently could start building the team. It's just the calendar with the way it is and the structure of college football the way it is. It's such a sprint this time of year, December, January, as you're trying to get your roster set for the next season. And with the portal and 2 signing days and just all the different things that go into it, his focus right now was getting signed so he could start, checking all the boxes so he could legally start doing everything as the head coach, get the contract signed and then start moving on to focus on that. So once things slow down a little bit, we'll sit down and figure those kind of things out. Do I would lie to you if I said I thought Bill Belichick was coming up the top of the hill every Monday night for a radio show. I doubt that will happen every single week.
Right.
But we haven't talked about that yet, and we'll have to figure out kind of how all that stuff works. And again, I do think there are some differences between being a professional coach and a college coach, and the college coach is traditionally much more kind of out in the community and involved with those type of things. But we just haven't had those conversations yet. And so we'll obviously do what's best for him and figure out the best way to move forward.
No doubt. There's plenty of time to figure that stuff out. It was a funny thought to me of I don't know that I could see him necessarily in that role. But like I said, if anybody can pull it off, Jones, you have all the faith in the world. I have all the faith in the world in you. Let's talk some basketball here before we let you go, because tonight here on ESPN Asheville, 6 o'clock start is the pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off. It's another – I mean, the schedule is – I saw Phil Ford on social media the other day. Just all he could say was SMH, shaking my head. This schedule has been absolutely brutal, and the Tar Heels, they've not excelled with it. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, there have been some Tar Heel teams in the past that could manage this schedule. This team, there were and are still some question marks and things that the Tar Heels are trying to figure out, and trying to figure that out against the schedule that they've played has been difficult, and I think you see that in the record. 6-4 is not typical for Carolina, not where the Tar Heels want to be through 10 games, and I don't think speaks to the quality of this team. What I do think we've learned is right now the Tar Heels are not one of a top 10 type of team, and that's okay because I think they feel like they can continue to improve and certainly be in the mix by the end of the season. But they're trying to kind of navigate these really difficult waters, figure out the best way to play with this current personnel. How can they best be successful with who they have available? And it's hard to figure some of that out sometimes when you're playing some of the very best. Now, Carolina's also let some opportunities slip through its hands. I mean, I think Carolina, from the teams that I have seen Carolina play, Auburn and Alabama right now are better than Carolina. Kansas is probably at this moment better, but Tar Heels could have won that game. They were up, 3-4 points, whatever it was, with a couple minutes to go. That was a game that only hurts you because you have the opportunity to win it. There's nothing shameful in losing by 2 points or whatever it was, 3 points at Kansas. But Carolina had that game not won, but they had an opportunity to win it and could not execute in those last minute or two to the level that it wanted to. Michigan State, a team that, quite honestly, I think Carolina's better than, but didn't finish the job that particular game in Maui. Let that thing get to overtime and then lost in the extra period, had some opportunities down the stretch again to win the game and couldn't do it. And so they've had some chances in these games. Again, Auburn, Alabama were just better. I think they're better right now and better on those days. The Kansas and the Michigan State games, I think, are games that really frustrate Carolina because they feel like they were winnable both in the moment and overall. And then they've got a huge week this week, Tank. I mean, Florida and UCLA. Florida's another top 10 team. It'll be the fourth top 10 team that Carolina's played in the first 11 games. UCLA is ranked in the top 20, I think, right around that range right now. So it'll be another ranked opponent. Dayton is now ranked. Michigan State is ranked. And so, I mean, Carolina has played as strong a schedule as you possibly can, it feels like. And after this week, Tank, they will have played 12 games. 5 of those have been at home. 5. Look at just about anybody else who is a quote-unquote big-time team, and they're going to be playing 7, 8, 9 home games through the first 12. Carolina's played at home 5 times, and that's been a challenge, and it'll be a challenge through this week. They're already in Charlotte. Carolina went yesterday for the Jumpman Invitational. Obviously, the Heels will have a friendly crowd there, but they won't be in the Smith Center. And then they're heading to New York tomorrow. And so, on Thursday. And so, that's another pretty fair amount of travel that the Tar Heels are dealing with. And I understand all this is extra stuff and excuses and things like that. But I do think all of these things have combined to just make it a challenging start for Carolina. But what ultimately has made it a challenging start is the Tar Heels haven't been good enough, particularly on defense. And I think their defensive numbers have been better here these last couple of games, but they haven't played great offensive teams in Georgia Tech and LaSalle. And so the question is, can they carry over some of that defensive performance against the better teams that they're going to play. The Tar Heels have been able to pretty consistently score. The one thing that's given them trouble is length and size, and Florida has plenty of that, just like Alabama did, just like Auburn did. So the Heels will have to mitigate that tonight. But they also just have to play much better defense than they have against the better teams that they've played this year.
Yep, and you got to be hitting those shots as well, because we know how that offense can stagnate out if the shots aren't falling. Number 7 Florida tonight in Charlotte. It is a 6 o'clock pregame here on ESPN Asheville. 7 o'clock tip-off. Jones, Angel, and the crew will have the call. We thank you for taking the time out for us, Jones, as always, and we'll catch up with you after the holiday.
Thanks, Tank. Great to talk with you. And again, glad to be back with you, and look forward to talking with you soon. Hope everybody has a great Christmas and a happy holiday.
And you too. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well up there in Chapel Bill. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Cheerio and happy holidays to all. There's 2 things we Brits do particularly well. It's celebrate the Yuletide season and make a fantastic cocktail. And now, doing both in the proper British way is simpler with Bartesian. Yes, Bartesian! It's the home cocktail maker that's every bit as posh and premium as having your own bartender in the house, without having to worry about providing servants' quarters. Whether your desire is a holiday-spiced old-fashioned by the Yule log or a Clausmopolitan for sipping with your besties, just pop in a capsule, select your strength, push the button, and you're off. Hurry now, old chap, because they're $50 off. Yes, even old Ebenezer Scrooge wouldn't quite be able to turn down such good tidings, made so rapidly and served so well. So turn your holiday party into an event worthy of the blokes across the pond with Bartesian. Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingalls studio. And this is a Power Rankings Tuesday of sorts.
Kind of.
We'll do the NFL Naughty Nice list coming up later on in the program here for the Week 16 edition of the Power Rankings.
It's almost over. Jet fans, Giant fans, Jaguar fans, the suffering is almost over.
just hanging in there. We started out the program with 2 definitive statements. One, the Chicago Bears suck. Number 2, the Atlanta Falcons
ain't much better.
Because they just barely beat the Desmond Ridder-led Las Vegas Raiders.
And Desmond Ridder had 2 shots into the end zone that were uncomfortably closer to being answered than you would want them to.
Yes, they were. Jesse Bates came up with the game-sealing interception last night to give the Falcons a 15-9 victory in a 6-point game.
Woo!
Well, the spread was 6, by the way.
Yeah, sure was.
Gold fixtures for a reason.
Thought I was getting one back on that because I took the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know exactly what to do with Atlanta anymore. It is super obvious to me that Kirk Cousins is not going to be the quarterback of this team 1 year from now.
No doubt about it.
You're going to have to eat it. There's just no doubt in my mind you're going to have to eat this deal because he is aging at a rate that even milk would tell to slow down.
Threw his first touchdown pass in a month in the game to Drake London, and it was the only, I call it, bright spot of offense. I mean, you did move the ball. I mean, Bijan ran the ball well. You just can't.
He's done that all year.
You just can't get into the end zone. And that's got to be the most infuriating thing for Atlanta Falcons fans is to see that your team is moving the ball in between the 20s, but you can't punch it in once you get close-ish.
I am dumbfounded watching Atlanta week in, week out. Just dumbfounded. And how is Kyle Pitts this irrelevant?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear a list of guys that have more receiving yards
than
Kyle Pitts? Tucker Kraft has more receiving yards. Ray McLeod, Cade Otton, Josh Downs, who's only played 11 games. Cooper Kupp, who's only played 10 games. And then the one that really stuck out to me, Chris Godwin, who was hurt in week 7. All of those guys have more receiving yards than one of the best tight ends I've ever seen. In terms of draft prospect, he's one of one. Brock Bowers the only one close. You can't get him involved. The thing that would drive me absolutely crazy is why can you get Ray McLeod involved? Why can you get Darnell Mooney involved, but you can't get it to the outside? And that's the answer. Because you have a quarterback that is cooked. And now I ask you this question. I'm not going to waste time on the should Atlanta be playing Michael Penix for one very simple reason. Anytime you get into one of these situations where you see the starter and the starter's this bad and they don't even want to acknowledge the idea of sitting him for the backup, let me tell you what that means, and it's 100 times out of 100. The backup is so much worse, and it is so obvious on a daily basis that they know this is our best chance to win. We've done this with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. We've done this with a ton of guys over the years. And you know what the common theme is?
What's that?
Let them get into games. You'll figure out why they were sitting behind the starter.
Right.
Now, a year from now, I think Penix will be better. I think he'll be fine. You're cooked for this year. Tampa Bay's not losing a game.
No.
They have they play 3 of the 8 worst teams in the NFL with an offense that's clicking pretty well right now.
Yes, it is.
And none of those offenses threaten that god-awful defense of theirs.
No. Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
Yeah, there's no challenge there. If they don't lose a game, you don't control your own destiny. And I hate to break this to you, Seattle and L.A., they're not losing many games either. So that means your path to the playoffs is virtually non-existent. So I'm going to focus the time on asking a very rudimentary question. If Atlanta were to cut loose Kirk Cousins on the first day of the NFL season, how many teams do you think would actually call?
Ooh.
How many teams do you think would actually call based on what it's going to cost and the level of play you have gotten from Kirk Cousins?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, what would it cost?
Oh, it's $40 million bare minimum. This is a guy that started in this league for over a decade. He's not taking less than that. He's not taking less than a Daniel Jones deal. Sorry, that's not coming.
He's not taking the Matt Ryan deal. Didn't Matt Ryan go for a $20 million deal or something like that to the Colts?
It was two for 50.
Okay,
let's set it at that. 2 for $50 million, which I'm not sure he wouldn't just walk away entirely. Name me the team.
The Giants.
I'm going to take one at 2. Why do I need to spend $50 million on a washed-up has-been that has no good football left?
Tennessee Titans.
See previous. Why in the world would I go Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins is not better than what I have. I have a god-awful offensive line, and right now I think he runs somewhere between a 7.4 and a 7.6. Kirk Cousins will get sacked 75 times next year in Tennessee. I'm good. Next. Raiders are taking a quarterback.
Yep.
I did this all morning long. You know what I couldn't find? One that made any sense.
Right.
I couldn't find one that made a lick of sense. You know what that tells me? You're done. Atlanta's going to let you go. I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. I don't care about eating the money.
Right.
I mean, this pales in comparison to what Denver just ate on Russell Wilson. I will walk away from this. It will be one of the legendarily terrible free agent signings of all time. And I think he just fades off into the sunset. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself the same question about Aaron Rodgers. Guess what? I can get to 5. Because that Tennessee Titans one, that makes sense. San Francisco makes sense. Handful of others make sense. They don't make sense for Kirk Cousins. Even at a value, you're not better than what I currently have. How many quarterbacks in the NFL are better than him right now? Because I would make the argument that number is probably 25.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I look at Atlanta top to bottom. What problem do you really have? Is the offensive line terrible?
Nah.
No. Are your weapons bad?
Nah.
No. Is your running game bad? No. Your defense can't get after quarterbacks. You have no pass rusher, which, odd. You could have taken one of those at 8. There have been a few of them, Jared Verse, specifically the guy that I was screaming for you to take, or Quinyon Mitchell, who's been one of the better corners in the league. Wow, if you had taken them instead of Michael Penix, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be talking about, hey, should you if Taylor Heineke was sitting behind Kirk Cousins, we would not be talking about this.
Right.
But you did this to you. And you left deficiencies on that defense that are abundantly clear. Second corner on this team, not good. Pass rush, laughably bad. Then you add that to the fact you overpaid for a veteran quarterback who looks like he actually died about 9 weeks ago. He's regressed all year. That first game against Pittsburgh was bad because they didn't trust him under center, so he did nothing but out of shotgun. From there on, he was fine for a handful of weeks. And then he hit a wall because he's too old. This isn't Aaron Rodgers. This isn't Tom Brady. This isn't any of the older guys. This is a guy coming off an Achilles injury that was about as athletic as a wet sneeze in the first place. He's cooked. And this is why desperate teams out searching for quarterbacks, I can give you 100 examples of this. When you get desperate for a quarterback, because you look around and go 2 to 53, our roster is good enough to compete. Name me a time that decision has ever worked out. Kirk Cousins, epic failure. Aaron Rodgers, epic failure. Just keep going down the list. Every time you pursue the veteran, and your argument will be, but Russell Wilson. They got Russell Wilson for a bag of packing peanuts because nobody in the league wanted him. And even then, you still hadn't beat a good team. You got one win over Baltimore. Outside of that, it's 9 dregs of the NFL and 1 mediocre win. And a handful of those were with Justin Fields, not him. When you look for a savior on the veteran quarterback market, it's very unlikely that you're going to find it. This is Geno Smith with slightly worse results. Because at the end of the day, Geno Smith's been virtually the same thing. But he's put up numbers. Has he won anything? No. You know who wins? Josh Allen wins. Lamar Jackson wins. Patrick Mahomes wins. Jared Goff, ironically enough, a guy that was a franchise quarterback. Then L.A. got eyes for something sexier and flashier and discarded him like garbage. He goes to Detroit and he still wins.
Yeah, which that would probably be an example of. I mean, L.A. went out and got Matt Stafford.
25 teams in the NFL would have taken Jared Goff. They didn't want to pay the money because he was at the time one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. So they didn't want to undertake the contract. Detroit was brave enough to do that. That was not a question about talent. You didn't get a discount on Kirk Cousins. The New York Jets didn't get a discount on Aaron Rodgers. The Cleveland Browns didn't get a discount on Deshaun Watson. If there's a quarterback in this league and the team they're sitting on, the team that sees them every single day, that has them in the meeting rooms, watches them work with the young guys, if they look at a quarterback, which is the kryptonite of the NFL, this is the rarest of all metals. If the team that has this guy in the room looks at him and goes, I think we're going to go in another direction, that should really tell you damn near everything you need to know. Most people don't throw diamonds out car windows.
Right. And I mentioned Matt Ryan, and I think it's quite funny that Atlanta got rid of Matt Ryan, got out from that. He went to Indianapolis, completely tanked. And then you let it happen to you. And then you went out and got the veteran quarterback who had nothing left in the tank. But this is what bad franchises do.
Look,
they put themselves in situations where you can't win, and you can't really win this scenario. You've already lost it.
This is the search that NFL teams go on. Look at the New York Giants. Since Eli Manning's heyday, and I'm not talking about the end when he got benched, because it had already started then. Since his heyday of winning Super Bowls, we're talking 15 years, it's been an endless line of Geno Smiths and Drew Locks and Daniel Jones, and you've tried to find them anywhere you possibly could. The Washington Commanders, they had 2 years of RG3. Injuries took him out. Other than that, I could go all the way back to Joe Theismann and say, you have not had a quarterback in my lifetime. I can do that with a lot of teams.
Well, they did. They'd let him go to Minnesota. They had Kirk Cousins, and he ended up going to Minnesota.
Were you winning Super Bowls with Kirk Cousins?
No.
Then you didn't have a quarterback. In the NFL, you either have an elite quarterback or you're left behind. Look at the teams that we're talking about winning Super Bowls. Every single one of them has a quarterback that's in the top 12 of the league. Even Jalen Hurts, who I don't like at all, and I trust more. I believe more in Sasquatch than I do in him. He's still a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. He has top 3 weapons in the NFL. He's got the best running back in the NFL. He's got probably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. He's got the best defense in the NFL. You know what? If you could give that to Kirk Cousins, he probably could have been a Super Bowl champion too. It's just really hard to do that. The easier way is go the path of the Buffalo Bills. We figured one out. One, we're locked on. 2 to 53, we'll figure it out. Doesn't matter nearly as much as one does. The Atlanta Falcons have 2 to 45 figured out about as well as anybody in the league. You're missing a handful of pieces, and you're an absolute disaster at quarterback. And now where do you turn? Oh, we're going to spin the wheel of destiny with that quarterback we took at 8. Don't be shocked when you're back in the same boat 3 years from now.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a tenth of an inch or so, most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time. 2 Bojangles steak biscuits for $5 means 2 times the tender, 2 times the flavor, 2 times the country fried, change your life, need another bite goodness you crave. Order yours today. It's bow time.
I knew there had to be a better way to get relief from joint pain aside from surgery and harmful medications.
That's football legend and dancing champ Emmitt Smith, who knows a thing or two about joint pain.
Turns out I was right. It's called QC Kinetics, and now tens of thousands of patients and counting all across the country, they're feeling amazing. They say, hey, Emmitt, you were right.
QC Kinetics zeroed in on a technology that is revolutionizing pain treatment. They are transforming patients' lives. The largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments using natural healing properties to help restore and repair aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs. Call them today for your free consultation.
QC Kinetics. I knew there had to be a better way. I love it when I'm right.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're going to be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Stone Effect. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and it is time to get weird. And Jeremy, we have another in the.
You're shaking your head. That's always a bad sign.
Well, it's just in the long line of you people have too much damn time on your hands. An Indian martial arts collective called Beer Khalsa set a new Guinness Book World Record the other day. The most slices of a cucumber held in a person's mouth, which was cut by a chainsaw, which was wielded by a blindfolded individual in 1 minute.
Yeah, that's not a record.
So
stop with all that crap.
So you got one dude laying down with a cucumber in his mouth. You got the other guy blindfolded with an electric chainsaw, just seeing how many slices he can cut without cutting the person. What?
Keep going.
His eyes are doing that thing like he can't figure out what I'm talking about.
No. No, keep going. Is there more to this act?
How many slices in 1 minute could you do?
I'm reasonably sure I saw that same act in a strip club in Atlantic City. I'm pretty sure of it. The girl looked like Elvira, Mistress of the Damned. And it was super impressive.
I watched the video of this record being set, and it is one of the most clinching moments. Like, you're watching the video just waiting for this guy, and it's not like he takes, 5 or 6 cuts off of the cucumber and then stops, and then somebody changes it out. Like, he goes all the way, like he's brushing the guy's beard with the chainsaw while he's blindfolded. They got 71 slices in 1 minute. And somehow, how is this a category? How did this record already exist for them to break it? That's what I want to know. I'm all for, being creative, thinking outside the box. Hey, here's a new world record that nobody's set before. This story reads as if there was a record and they beat it. Is the blindfolded chainsaw cucumber cutting? Is that a thing? Is
Well, I mean, we will be in Atlanta for the Peach Bowl on New Year's Eve night. I'll take you to Magic City. I'll show you another world record getting set.
Oh,
give you a hint. It involves ping pong balls. My story is about Shiku and Asata. It's a musical group. Travels all over the world playing their cello music. Only one problem. Apparently, one of them has a very famous cello. Asata has a cello from the 1700s.
Ah, yes. The famous 1700s cello.
That is worth $3 million.
And he plays it?
Plays it.
No, sir.
To the point of every time he travels with this cello, he does not risk checking it. Obviously can't take it on the plane. So he buys it a seat. They had a performance scheduled in Toronto over the weekend. Only one problem. His cello's been put on the no-fly list, and nobody knows why.
Excuse me?
The cello itself,
I get it,
is on the no-fly list.
But how did that happen?
I don't know, and neither does Air Canada or anybody else.
I was gonna say, does it just go down the list of John Smith, Patrick Holt, I'm just using names here, Stephen Tao, cello, wait a minute, is that the nickname for some big giant guy or what?
None of those people are on the no-fly list. I have seen a few people get added to the no-fly list, and you got to try real hard. Actually, that cucumber chainsaw thing you were talking about, that will get you added to a no-fly list. Do not try to do that on an airplane.
Do not.
Or the trick you're going to learn in Magic City. Don't do that either. No more flights for you.
I think they also have world records for that.
For sure.
At 30,000 feet.
Yeah. I've always thought that's grossly
You aim for
overrated.
distance on that one.
Yeah, that's a federal crime. I would not do so hot in a federal penitentiary. So I'll just wait till we're safely on the ground. You can have a lot of fun at a Hampton Inn. I'm just throwing that out there.
How does a cello wind up on the no-fly list?
Gambit fan said the cello was incredibly disruptive on flights. Apparently, the cello liked to drink Jack Daniels straight out of the bottle, hurl some epitaphs. You got put on the no-fly list.
Cello. You're in the Sportsocracy.
If somebody doesn't cut that for my own nefarious uses, I'm going to be pretty angry. What would you say that was exactly?
Cello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. We've only got 70 minutes left in the
no doubt
left in the year.
The world's most racist cello.
I guess.
Wow. I didn't think I would have racist cello and blindfolded cucumber cutter on today's Sportsocracy bingo card, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the beauty of this show. You never know what you're going to get.
Indeed. All right. Are we just reserving the naughty nice list for the last hour of the program?
We might as well do it like a great big daily draft.
Yep. Okay.
Gambit fan said we are done with the year. I am so done with this year that I cannot wrap my brain around how done with this year I am.
Oh,
I almost audibly cried having to come to work this morning. That's not true. I don't cry. I would rust. But if I did, I probably would have. I'm so tired. just between all of the things that happened this year, this last month feels like it's taken, 2 years. I think we started this in December started in 2022, right?
It feels like it.
Because I think we've been I feel like I've been in this chair for about 80 days in a row.
I mean, the last 3 months alone have just been, I keep saying this over and over again because it's the only way I know how to describe it. It feels like it's been a week, but it also feels like it's been a year. In the last 90 days, right? I think we're 80 days out from Hurricane Helene hitting. Next week will be the official 3-month anniversary. And since then, everything just kind of seems like a blur.
I guess that's also why, at least for me, I don't know if you felt this way, I have taken the compliments that we get from people. I met a lovely group at the Village Porch Saturday night that were very complimentary of you, of myself, of all the other people here. I took that much more to heart. I also have much less patience for the people that, you're stupid. Why does anybody pay you? Hi, John. I have so little patience for that at this point. I've been trolling people on our social media like it was my job. Oh, you want to come at me right now? Really? After the last 3 months, that's what, okay. Yeah. You just understand, I was paid quite nicely to be a comedian. I'm one of the meaner people you ever meet in your life, and I am insanely quick-witted. Yep. So don't be shocked when I hurt your little feelings, because you will not hurt mine.
This morning on First News on 570, and also I know they debuted it on Kiss Country as well. Local band Nick Mack and the Noisemakers, or no, Nick Mack and the Noise. That's the name of the band. They wrote a very special song about Hurricane Helene and the role the radio played in connecting families during all of that. And you know what? I think in the next hour we'll play it. We'll play the song maybe we'll play it closing the show today, in order to give Nick Mack and the Noise their due on an amazing song that they wrote. Obviously is very close to us because we're involved in it in very intimate ways. But you can go and download it on bandcamp.com. Bandcamp.com. All you got to do is look for Only Hope by Nick Mack, M-A-C, N-I-C-K, M-A-C, and the Noise. And you can download it, and you can download it for as little as $1, or you can give as much as you want, and all of the proceeds from the downloads will be going to Valley Strong Disaster Relief. Our good friends out at Silverados who've been doing so much to help the community out there in Swannanoa and all over western North Carolina. They're not just taking care of their own in Swannanoa. I don't ever want to make it feel like that, because these guys go wherever they are needed, wherever the help is still required. These guys are doing their best to make sure that everybody has gotten to.
I think Jason Ward has taken up temporary residence in Chimney Rock. So yes. It's not just Swannanoa.
Yeah, no, it's not. ValleyStrongDisasterRelief.org is their website, but if you go to Bandcamp.com and search Nick Mack, again, that's N-I-C-K-M-A-C, and the Noise, and the name of the song is Only Hope. And you could download it, and all the proceeds go to Valley Strong Disaster Relief.
You were with those guys last night for their Christmas party.
Yes.
They invited me. They learned a valuable lesson. Don't invite me to things after the Army-Navy game. I will 100% forget we even talked. And I did.
You did.
I was almost a little hurt that they invited you and not me, and then I realized, but you did, though. And not only did you do it, you did it in text message, so I could go back and see it later.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to look at that.
You do.
With all of those things, I have we're going into a hard out here. I have an announcement at the beginning of the next hour before we start the naughty and nice list of a way that a lucky listener or social media follower or somebody that just enjoys us will be able to enjoy something in the new year.
You're in the Sportsocracy. Stay tuned. This is ESPN Asheville.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Robinson, CEO of Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation. Sandstone prides itself on providing compassionate care for all, not only to the residents, but to the staff, and that compassion extends beyond the walls of our facility to the community. Our employees deliver compassionate care because our employees are treated with the utmost level of compassion themselves. It's inherently in our culture.
Visit sanstonehealth.com.
As we recover as a community, it's important to help each other. Hummingbird Insurance, as always, is offering free assistance to help you navigate your health insurance options for next year. Headquartered in Asheville, Hummingbird is one of the top-rated insurance agencies in the country. Schedule a free consultation to compare plans across multiple insurance carriers. The enrollment deadline is January 15th. We make it easier than hauling water. Visit healthcaresucks.com. That's healthcaresucks.com.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4 VICTIMS.
To their patients, friends, and family throughout Western North Carolina, Summit Dental is doing everything they can to continue providing exceptional safe dental care for our community. They're taking every safety precaution during this time. Their water system for patients is self-contained, and they're only using bottled distilled water for their patients' needs. Whether you're a current patient at Summit Dental or you're looking for a new dental provider, they're back to work and ready to support you and your family and any of your dental needs that you may have. Call today, 828-277-6868.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This year, we have plenty to celebrate. From reuniting with loved ones, to welcoming new family members, from rediscovering the great outdoors, to perfecting Let's Stay In. At Ingalls, we're so proud to play a part in your everyday adventures and all your celebrations. So here's to taking a pause and taking it all in. Merry Christmas from Ingalls.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a 1/10 of an inch or so. Most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save more this holiday season by becoming a My Lowe's Rewards member. New member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Join free today. Subject to terms and conditions. Visit mylowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything.
Nothing is everything.
Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. That way you can see us live in the Ingalls studio, and you can also subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. You can do the super chat thing. You can, get all your best thoughts out there. And all of the best comments will always be highlighted here in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy, you said you have a big announcement.
I do. So we obviously had some we had some hurdles to get across with the Living the Dream Tour after Hurricane Helene. So we are obviously headed back on the road. We have teased this a little bit. Tank and I have discussed this a little bit. We will be doing a series of games over the Christmas break. We will be at Carolina, Arizona on Sunday. We'll be at the Myrtle Beach Bowl the day after. We will be at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta on New Year's Day. Our great friends at Ingalls Markets have basically taken care of all of the accommodations for us for the Peach Bowl. So, Tank and I started conspiring. We have dealt with a lot over the last 3 months, as everybody here in Western North Carolina has. So we decided to pay this forward. We, at our own expense, have bought 2 extra tickets with us for the Peach Bowl. So one lucky listener will be able to go to Atlanta with us. We're doing a huge tailgate party with our friends at Ingalls Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, right outside of the stadium. So we're in the same spot we were before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tailgate lot that literally you can hit a good driver and hit the Mercedes-Benz Dome. That is where we will be from about the time the ball drops on New Year's Eve until kickoff at, I think it's 1 o'clock on New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It will be between Arizona State and either Texas or Clemson. Obviously, Clemson fans, there's a possibility you would have to go watch the team that just knocked your team out. Could also be Clemson. You never know. The way we will decide this, we are going to take all of the people who have super chatted over the course of the year. We are going to take all of the people who have followed us on Spotify, and we will take our social media engagement list for the next week and a half. So up until, I guess it's the day after Christmas. I think that's when that rolls.
Mm-hmm.
If you appear on the social media engagement list, basically that means you like, share, follow, any of those things. You comment, however you do it. You will be entered to win. And then the day after Christmas, we will pull a winner for the New Year's Eve Peach Bowl extravaganza with us.
Excellent. So your chance to go on the Living the Dream Tour with us to Atlanta to the Peach Bowl. January the 1st, Mercedes-Benz Dome.
That also means, if you're brave enough, that you could spend New Year's Eve with me, which means you might not want to go to the game because trying to keep up with me on that night is a bad call.
Because my hurts. That's why.
Why does my life hurt? I think it has to do with that big ginger over there that was drinking car bombs that were actual car bombs.
No doubt about it. Be excited to get back on the road with the Living the Dream Tour. As Jeremy said, we're going to try to hit up the Myrtle Beach Bowl as well. Some other games as well throughout the stretch here. Just stay tuned to the Sportsocracy on all the social medias and right here on YouTube as well. This will be our last live in the Ingalls studio show for the year. We will be doing some things from home throughout the Christmas break here.
We're also completely relaunching the way the show looks and sounds. You'll be able to see each individual segment on social media and through podcasting in the new year. So if you haven't subscribed on Spotify and iHeart and all the different places that you can subscribe to us, now would be the time. I will also be starting an individual morning show in the new year. We were going to do that here in the last month of the year, and it's been a lot of stuff. So 3 days a week, I will be putting out a morning show uncensored that will be its own individual podcast. I thought about calling it the Jeremy A. Green Show, but then that makes y'all want to guess what my middle name is, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
Tank knows it, and he knows if he ever said it on these airwaves, it'd be the last thing he ever said.
Yeah. I don't divulge those kinds of secrets. I mean, I really want to, but I'm not going to, because that is how Tank ends up spending Christmas vacation with a black eye.
Black eye would be the least of your worries. You might lose an eye. There are about 4 people on this planet that know that, and they have all been appropriately warned.
All right, is our special,
I will seek revenge.
Our special holiday edition of the Week 16 power rankings in the NFL. I mean, rather than talk about all 32 teams, many teams don't need to be talked about.
You don't need to hear us talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 28th week in a row. Right. Hey, guess what? You're just a little bit less good than you were last week, and you weren't good last week.
All right, so naughty nice list. How you want to roll this out here?
I figure we'd just go daily draft style the same way that we would usually do stock up, stock down.
Okay.
Of who was, and if you say a naughty, you have to explain a way that they could get off that list for next year. If you say nice list, can they keep it up in the new year? And how they would, in theory, do that.
Okay. So keep it up for next season.
Yes.
Okay.
If you would like me to start, I can totally do that.
Sure, go ahead.
Because my number one with an absolute bullet on the naughty list is my New York Football Jets. I don't think I have ever seen a more disappointing team in my entire life. If you had held me down at gunpoint and asked me how many wins did I know the Jets were going to have in 2024, I would have said no less than 8. This is as bad of a season as I have ever seen in my life. Now, how you get into fixing it? I think you have to bring everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
Player-wise, I think you have to bring everybody back. Here's why I say that. What is your alternative at quarterback? Okay, Aaron Rodgers has been terrible. I get that.
Oh, but Jordan Travis is waiting.
Good luck with that. I'm not saying that he's not a long-term project that could ultimately serve to be maybe a bridge one day. You have a roster that can compete right now.
You should. You have the talent, but you don't have the leadership. The problem that I have with that is how are you going to do that? Who's the coach that's going to come in and take that over and basically whip all this into shape? Right, Aaron Rodgers comes back next year. Do you not have the same problem next year with a new coach that you've had with whatever the problem's been with these coaches?
Depends on who the coach is.
Aaron is still running the show.
Depends on who the coach is.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's not running the show. Sorry, this is Kirk Cousins 2.0. You don't have the right to run the show. If you want to run off, if you want to run out into the sunset and have this be how you're remembered, more power to you. I don't think that's what he wants to do. I also don't think it's what he should do. And I keep coming back to none of these spots that are going to have openings are a ready-made spot for Ben Johnson. I don't think New York is really his bag. But if it came with a bag, if it came with a bag and he got to bring his own personnel guy and you fuse these two things together, I could see how this would be the most attractive spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because for his offense, I'm looking at Garrett Wilson running that Amon-Ra St. Brown spot.
Yep.
You got a guy in Malachi Corley that hasn't been used much this year, but with the ball in his hands, really, really good. You still got Devontae Adams. You've got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. That's a real nice version of that Sonic and Knuckles thing that you're doing in Detroit.
Yes, it is.
And the more I've gone down this rabbit hole, the more I just go, that makes way more sense than any of these other places. He's going to tie himself to Caleb Williams, or he's going to have one last ride with Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to embolden his staff. Go find me the next guy. You got a lot of mid-tier prospects that are going to come back to college football this year. Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, maybe even Jalen Milroe. You got a whole year to figure out which one you want a year from now.
Yeah, go find me that guy who I'm going to get in the second round next year.
Meanwhile, Arch Manning is going to be the number one pick in the draft next year. You're not getting that guy. But outside of that, go find me a guy that can be my Jared Goff.
Yes.
That's how I'm doing. I look at Ben Johnson. I don't care what your number is. Hey, you want $15 million? Awesome, because I don't have a whole lot of other choices. I'm already leveraged out at this point. Do you care if the check smells like baby powder because it is coming from the Johnson & Johnson fortune?
No, I don't care what that check smells like.
In the YouTube chat, they're trying to guess my middle name. We have got an Ashley, an Alistair, an Aurelius, an Alejandro, and an Alberto.
I love Aurelius.
It is none of those.
I love Aurelius. That is Jeremy Aurelius Green.
Although and I'm very partial to Alistair. I think from now on it's going to be Alistair.
It's only for the holiday season.
Or Alabaster. I'll go with that. I can be good with that one too.
Alabaster to match your skin.
Yes.
Yes. It's just like a little China doll, isn't he? Every time you look at him, just so damn cute. He goes the Jets for your number one naughty lister. And you think the way to fix it is to just bring everybody back and go all in on the coach. It's not a bad plan.
Well, I mean, look, that's the worst coach team I've ever seen, and you've had 7 games that ended in 1 score.
Yep. I, too, will go with a naughty lister to start out, and I'll go San Francisco 49ers. It could not have gone any worse this year. And my biggest advice to you is you need to wait. You need to wait as long as you can before you sign over that contract with Brock Purdy.
I'm not doing it this year.
I don't know what you're no, there's not a chance that I would do that this year.
And I'll have the talk with him.
Yeah.
Of, sorry, bruh, we'll franchise you in a year, but there's too much in flux here.
Right. I'll be glad to go all in if you can prove me you're worth going all in for. It's not something that Brock Purdy has showed me as if I were John Lynch or whoever's going to be running the show there, because that's the other part of this. I think you've reached the point where you have to cut ties with John Lynch. You have to go find the next GM. You have to go find somebody that's going to do better in the draft or somebody that's going to build a better scouting staff or whatever you need to do.
Joe Douglas.
There you go. You go get Joe Douglas. Bring
one
him
interview.
In. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got the stars. You have to keep them healthy.
That's the other thing. That's the I don't
Kyle
know
Shanahan,
what's
whatever
happening.
boot camp it is you're doing back behind closed doors. We need to stop that.
I don't know what's happening in strength and conditioning, but we're cleaning house. I don't know what is happening in the in the medical wing, but whatever prevention, I don't think we have that program. We don't have a injury prevention program. We need one of those. As much as this team gets hurt, we absolutely have to have a better medical staff. We have to have a better strength and conditioning program. We need a new GM, and we need to not pay Brock Purdy.
Well, I mean, and now one of the things I will tell you, and I never hear people mention this, you do realize that the injury issues, they are something you can tie back to John Lynch. John Lynch is the one drafting these players. Deebo Samuel had injury issues coming out of college. Several of these other guys did too. Yep. You're just completely ignoring medical red flags. I have never seen a team in my life, not one time, seen a team that didn't have medical red flag guys on their roster that have this many injury issues. That Lions team, yeah, guess what? Half of these guys had medical red flags come out.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes you draft a guy and it never pops up again. I would say it's probably 40% of the time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my selection again. We're doing this daily draft style here.
Yep.
All right. So I'll go from the stock down of the San Francisco 49ers to... You know what? I will go... I'm going to do a stock up. I'm going to do a nice list. But it's for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are my biggest surprise of the year.
You're not mine.
The fact that they have been able to win like this with Russell Wilson is not a surprise to you? I did not see this coming.
I did not see them. Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they're going to win another game all year. I don't think they're winning this division. I think Baltimore's going to come back and pass them. They'll be a wild card team, and no, none of that surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. I mean, we talked about it in the offseason. Now we thought this was the year that they would come crumbling down. Does it shock me Pittsburgh's going to get into the playoffs and not be a threat to anybody? No. Especially when you look around the AFC and go, my God, how many teams in the AFC could be on the naughty list? Because I lost track at 5.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch. That could be on that
less
list.
Impressive to me. Do you value Pittsburgh to be a threat to win more than a game in the AFC playoffs?
I do not.
Okay, so what's really wildly different? Okay, so they won a bunch of regular season games. Who cares? Who cares? That means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You're a team that always, in Mike Tomlin's era, you've never won less than 9 games in a season. I think you did have 8 one year, but it's still 16-game schedule.
Yes.
Whoop-de-doo. You won a bunch of regular season games. I still don't think you have a quarterback. Even if you do, he's 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's not leading you to the next era. I mean, I'm looking around going, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, even C.J. Stroud. I can go a few further in the AFC, and then I come to Russell Wilson and go, one of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't really seem to belong, and I'm going to go it's with old Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. That part of it has worked. Now, if you can go in this offseason and you can find some secondary help, strengthen up the defense, you could be a threat again. You could take this division next year.
Great drafting team that's had absolutely no ability to do that for 25 years.
Right. And I don't know how you change it.
You don't. That's every front office in the NFL has a strength and a weakness. Pittsburgh's is super obvious. They find pass rushers at Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
They find some guy that was really helpful in the lumber department and go, hey, did you ever play college football? Why don't you come play for us? Next thing you know, he's got 13 and a half sacks. They cannot find quarterbacks. They cannot find cornerbacks. Unfortunately, that's 2 of the most important positions on the field.
Right.
I'll go ahead because this is not going to take a real long time.
Yo.
The one you left was Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. That's the nicest of the nice list. And, boys, this ain't hard to figure out. You go to Sam, what would make you feel hunky-dunky this Christmas? If it's $45 million in J.J. McCarthy being out of town, done.
Mm-hmm.
D-U-N-E, done. You said he wasn't great last night. They won 30-12. That's great enough for me. Right now, Sam Darnold's one of the 12 best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's borderline non-debatable.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You got him for packing peanuts this year. That's about to get way more expensive. But I keep looking at Minnesota, and the longer this carries on, and all I can think about is that Peter Griffin segment from Family Guy where he's looking at the boat or the mystery box. Well, Sam Darnold's the boat. J.J. McCarthy's the mystery box. Mm-hmm. And I'm just waiting for somebody to go, Sam Darnold, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be Sam Darnold. Just do it. This is not hard, especially considering there are going to be no less than 7 teams in the NFL that are absolutely desperate for any young hope at quarterback. And J.J. McCarthy will be that. Go hijack another team. You know exactly where this is.
And you're only a piece away. Like you're only maybe a couple of pieces away on the defense.
Dallas Turner becomes what you drafted him to be, you're there.
Yeah, from being super scary. You're already scary enough with Sam Darnold playing MVP-type football every other week at least, more than that, if we're being honest. You're 12-2 if you made that defense just a little bit more stout.
I think
What's to stop you from taking
like
the NFC next year?
I think I like Minnesota more than you do. Because I don't think there's anything stopping them right now.
Really?
If you told me they knocked Philadelphia and Detroit out of the playoffs, I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how either one of those teams is going to defend Justin Jefferson. I keep looking at that going, I feel like there's an error in the matrix here. I don't know how you're going to stop their guys either, but they're not just a bump in the road.
Well, see, and that's kind of my point of if it comes down to it and they get in a shootout, are you confident?
Yes.
That they would come out on top more often than not?
Yes. The Lions' defense is killed, and I like Sam Darnold more than Jalen Hurts. Not that hard to figure out. Mm-hmm. And if Jordan Addison's going to play to the level of Devontae Smith, okay, I like my receiving core better because I'll take T.J. Hawkinson over Dallas Goedert as well.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, you have Saquon, I have Aaron Jones. I get it. You got an advantage there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's as untoward. And the more I hear people boo-boo on them, the more I kind of want to start throwing tickets at that. That feels like it's a really good value.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 super chats before we go into the commercial.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Eamon report talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Cut Debo, kick John Lynch upstairs, and Jed York better tighten the reins on Kyle Shanahan. Well, I mean, John's already upstairs. You need to kick him down a peg or two. He needs to be out of that GM chair and maybe director of pro scouting or something like that.
Special
draft picks are not his
special advisor.
Oh, that would be dehumanizing. Now he's the special advisor to the guy that replaced him.
Right.
And one more.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
For Matthew Hoffman, plot twist. The Jets traded picks with Minnesota so they could take McCarthy. Now they trade McCarthy to the Jets with the plan to possibly bench Aaron next year. I don't believe, and now I get it, the brain trust is going to be different than it was. I don't think the Jets are going to be your buyer there. They still, and the more I look at the guys that are interviewing now, and I get it, you can't talk to guys right now that are with other teams. But I'm looking at Thomas Dimitrov, John Robinson, and Louis Riddick, who have all 3 already interviewed for the Jets job. None of those guys strike me as the I'm going to hedge my bets on J.J. McCarthy type. Mm-hmm. All 3 of those feel like the I'm going to try to convince Aaron to play another year and give me a year to kick the can down the road.
Yep.
The J.J. McCarthy thing, I can't stop attaching him to the Tennessee Titans. There are a handful of others. Teams that just miss out on Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, which those 2 feel like givens to the Raiders and the Giants.
Yep. We had a comment in the YouTube chat here of Sam Darnold, comeback player of the year.
Oh, he should be, but
no.
we changed that to some nonsensical.
When did that happen?
2 years ago when they really wanted it to be Damar Hamlin, and instead it was Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, our narrative was not what we wanted it to be. We thought that was a layup, and it wasn't.
So they changed the qualification for comeback player of the year that you had to have been injured prior to this season.
The biggest candidates for it are Joe Burrow. I saw another one. I can't remember who it
was. Tim Patrick.
Stop.
Is one name that's being thrown around right now.
This is why I wish I had a vote. I would vote for Sam Darnold out of spite. Oh, you tell me I shouldn't do that? Cool. First, second, and third. I didn't just vote for him once. I voted for him 3 times.
Absolutely all of them. There's no question. He should be the comeback player of the year.
I agree.
But
hey, Geno Smith won it. He didn't come back from squat other than suckitude, which is the same thing Sam Darnold is doing.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Did you apply for FEMA help after the recent disaster and want to know the status of your application or how to appeal an eligibility decision?
It's easy to reach FEMA. Call 800-621-3362.
Does FEMA have your current contact information?
If you're not sure, call 800-621-3362 because FEMA may need more information to help you. Remember, call 800-621-3362 or go online to disasterassistance.gov.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Cheerio and happy holidays to all. There's two things we Brits do particularly well. It's celebrate the Yuletide season and make a fantastic cocktail. And now, doing both in the proper British way is simpler with Bartesian. Yes, Bartesian! It's the home cocktail maker that's every bit as posh and premium as having your own bartender in the house, without having to worry about providing servants' quarters. Whether your desire is a holiday-spiced old-fashioned by the Yule log or a Clausmopolitan for sipping with your besties, just pop in a capsule, select your strength, push the button, and you're off. Hurry now, old chap, because they're $50 off. Yes, even old Ebenezer Scrooge wouldn't quite be able to turn down such good tidings, made so rapidly and served so well. So turn your holiday party into an event worthy of the blokes across the pond with Bartesian. Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
The Ingalls Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be at the Asheville Mall. Bring non-perishable items to the donation barrels at local Ingalls locations or donate online. Join Ingalls Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times so Manna Food Bank can fill empty plates this holiday season.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. Don't forget, you can still stop by the Asheville Mall, make those donations to the Ingalls Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank. Lots of mouths to feed around Western North Carolina, and lots of support needed for Manna Food Bank, who, well, they lost everything in the flood as well. Their warehouse was completely destroyed, swallowed up by the Swananoa River. So any help that we can give Manna Food Bank at this time would be greatly appreciated. Just remember, you can make those donations to the Ingalls Giving Tree and Manna Food Bank at the Asheville Mall. Since they're, you're going to go out doing some of that brick and mortar shopping this holiday season, stop by the mall and make a donation.
A nodation.
Did I say nodation?
You did. You said a nodation.
A nodation. Nodation.
They read all of your nodations.
They read every
We
nodation.
are so done for this year. Is there a way to just throw in the white flag for the last 31 minutes?
Donations. There you go. Naughty nice list for the Week 16 power rankings here. Jeremy, Next up for you, you took the Vikings as one of your nice lists.
I have the Jets on the naughty list. I have the Vikings on the nice list. And now I'm going to take a team that I probably would have taken them before this, except I don't know how to finish this.
Okay.
It's naughty, and it's the Chicago Bears. This is going a lot less gooder than you wanted it to because you're bad. I don't know how to fix it, though.
Mm-mm.
I really don't. I don't even know what the course of action is. Because you're going to have to find a coach that's tied into Caleb Williams, at least one that really believes in him at the very least. I think you have to hire an offensive guy because you cannot have this much tumult. Because it's very obvious that he's regressed since Thomas Brown took over. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's super obvious to me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get this right. So it needs to be the head coach. The only offensive guy that I feel great about is Ben Johnson. I cannot imagine him signing on to steer this ship.
No.
Especially not in the same division with the Lions. I don't know where to go.
Is Mark Trestman still available?
Probably. But, I mean, he would have to quit his day job at Geico selling insurance to people. But
I mean, that's like the only offensive coach that you've ever had. Mm-hmm. And it went so horrifically bad.
You know what's funny? There are a handful of teams like that, the Jets, the Bears, the Browns. You keep hiring defensive guys, and weird, you haven't been able to score for the better part of 40 years.
Mm-hmm. All of the things that we said about Chicago Bears quarterbacks over the years, never had a 4,000-yard season, never had an MVP candidate, none of that stuff. You thought everything was going to change with Justin Fields, and it didn't. You thought everything was going to change with Caleb Williams, and it's not going to.
14th verse, same as the first.
And now you're stuck.
I have a weird feeling it's going to be Cliff Kingsbury, though.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nice list for me. I'm going Washington Commanders.
That is a good one.
The Commanders, one of the pleasant surprises of the NFL season. It wasn't long into the season where we realized, this Jaden Daniels guy, he's actually pretty good at football.
I figured that out.
They have
just in January,
right?
Chicago did not figure that out.
They have rolled off to a 9-5 record, 14 games into the season. This is going to be a playoff team. You are so far ahead right now of half of your division, right? You are leaps and bounds ahead of the Dallas Cowboys,
mm-hmm.
who are much closer to the New York Giants than they ever want to be considered.
I think Washington's right behind Philadelphia, and they are both light years ahead of the other two.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is you have $100 million to spend this offseason.
Yes, you got a lot of money to spend, and you're probably going to have to do some retooling of the offense, right? Cliff Kingsbury leaves, then you got to find the next guy that's going to come in and keep the ball rolling with Jaden Daniels, and I feel like that can be tough. See, in my perfect world, I don't think this blows up because I'm not sure if there's an opportunity that Cliff needs to jump at right now. It's kind of like the Ben Johnson thing in Detroit. Do I want to step away from a good thing while I got it while I got it going? I'm only getting one more shot at this thing. That's typically how this works. You usually get 2 shots at being a head coach in this league. I don't know that Cliff Kingsbury would jump all in for Chicago and Caleb.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's a type A. He's going to be hot on the coaching carousel market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't tell you he's going to get any of these jobs. I just don't see a path that he doesn't. Now, here's the good thing. There are a lot of guys that run that same offense he does. I don't specifically think he has done anything. I don't credit Cliff Kingsbury here as much as everybody else does. I don't think he's done anything all that special.
Okay. And maybe he hasn't.
I want to keep that playbook as much in intact as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I would like this scheme to say very similar. I would really like the terminology to say the same because I want there to be as much consistency with Jaden Daniels as there can be. The other part you got to look at is that you're going to have a lot of turnover on this roster.
Mm-hmm. With $100 million, how well of a job can they do shoring up the offensive line, getting more protection for Jaden, and doing something about that secondary?
Well, I mean, the secondary, you've already put a ton of draft capital into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more worried about getting high-end guys. I need somebody on the opposite side of Terry McLaurin. I would really like to be able to get I'll say a high-end pass rusher. I'm going big-ticket shopping with Washington.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I'm going with another nice one. I'm feeling nice today. I'm going with the Cardinals.
That's a good one.
I still feel like that's working. I mean, I know it hasn't gone as well as you might want it to over the last several weeks, right? You're on a little bit of a lull here. You did beat the Patriots this week, but 3 games losing before that. And there have been questions about, still, is Kyler the guy for us? And I feel like that's a strange...
I don't know that anybody's asking that question at this point. I'd be shocked if anybody was asking that question.
Oh, I've seen quite a few articles written in the last week or so about, is Kyler our guy? And I feel like that's just pie in the sky nitpicking at this point.
Well, I'm going to say something that we get confused or we get accused of quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have a platform doesn't mean you're very smart.
That's true.
People can write articles about anything. I could write an article about how Sasquatch would be the perfect choice for the next president of the United States. Doesn't change the fact I'm a stark, raving crazy person.
Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray has some good weapons at his disposal here. Trey McBride is one of the best tight ends of the game. If you can figure out how to get him into the end zone, that'd be wonderful. My fantasy team would really appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure that your fans would appreciate more points on the scoreboard as well. But between him and Marvin Harrison Jr., some of the young pieces that you have on that team, I feel like you just kind of stay the course.
Well, you got to find – they're another one that's in that. You got to find a pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to find a true number one corner. And just, as you said, stay the course.
Yep. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Naughty Nice List. The Week 16 Power Rankings continues after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a 1/10 of an inch or so. Most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Fire, flood, wind damage, arguably a homeowner's worst nightmare. For nearly 4 decades, First Restoration Services have been helping people recover from disasters with trust, integrity, speed, and quality. If you have a disaster, call them today, 1-800-537-6151, or online at frs247.com.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're going to be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Still on the Fence. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Well, and, it's a crime to stab people, Jeremy, in case you were wondering.
You shouldn't stab people.
You shouldn't do
Bad
that.
idea.
Story out of Portland, Oregon. A DJ at Casa Diablo was stabbed by one of the workers at the club. So the DJ stabbed several times. His name's Duncan Allen, and he was DJing at the club when Peyton Lathan walked up behind him, stabbed him several times in the back. They later found her outside the establishment, hiding in some bushes, where they found not one but 2 knives next to her, one of them with a bloody stain on the tip of it. And, hey, there you go. We've got our accomplice, or we've got our perpetrator. Let's take her in. Now, the weirdest part about this is she's a dancer, he's a DJ. What kind of business is this? You know. You can say it.
It's is it an adult business of some kind?
It is an adult business. Yes, it is. It is a gentleman's club.
I didn't know which way to go with that. If it was going to be something that really it's a landscape business. I don't know.
It is a gentleman's club. However, its official name is the Casa Diablo Vegan Strip Club. What makes this a vegan strip club?
I believe that would be a lack of meat, Alex.
Indeed. It is a lack of meat. You can order all of the best vegan foods at the strip club. I feel like people at a strip club aren't really worried about their health.
Yeah, I don't think Captain Sweatpants is too worried about your tofurkey selection.
How big are the gauges in the dancers' ears? That's what I want to know. I mean, this is Portland, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
How many? Yeah. How many dreadlocks is too many dreadlocks on your adult entertainer?
That would be at Sports Think ESPN. My story is about Cameron Payne, NBA basketball player.
Oh, I remember him.
Last year, he only plays for the Knicks. Now, he got another chance after the incident I'm getting ready to detail.
Okay.
He got into a domestic disturbance with, I don't know if it's a girlfriend, wife. I'm not sure. If it was a girlfriend at the time, there are reports that they have since married. I don't know. They have a domestic disturbance. Neighbors call the cops. Cops show up. They both say, it's under control. We're good. Cops then asked for what? When they show up at a residence, what's the first thing they want to know? What's your name?
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell you that. The girlfriend looks at him and says, use the other one. I watched the video earlier. He said, my name's Terry Johnson. My birthday hesitates for an uncomfortably long time. Feeds a fictitious birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that was super illegal. I thought that was like a falsifying a police report or something like that. Just a little slap on the wrist thing.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, you're really not supposed to do that. In the video, the officer says, I'm going to go check this because it kind of looks like you just made up a birthday. He did, and then they spend 7 minutes chiding him for how stupid that was to tell them a fictitious name and basically saying, you just made this a way bigger deal than it had to be.
Mm-hmm.
They quickly figured out that he was Cameron Payne, the basketball player, and it did swell.
Mm-hmm.
He has now pled guilty to falsifying a police report.
Mm-hmm.
It is not much more than a slap on the wrist, but it was still really stupid that you went, my name's Terry Johnson.
I don't believe you.
I don't think it is, because I don't think any person in the history of persons has ever had to think about their name that long.
That's when you turn to your partner and you say, that's what a lie sounds like. Let's get back into the naughty nice list, wrapping things up here on our final live show here in the Ingalls studio for 2024. Naughty nice. Jeremy, I believe you're up here.
Oh, it's on me again?
I believe so.
Recap what we have already selected there, Mr. Spencer.
All right, so you went Jets, Chicago Bears, both naughty listers. Nice list. You had the Minnesota Vikings, and that's the only ones you've made.
Yeah,
and
I've got two more back-to-back.
Right, and then I made 4 selections. I had the San Francisco 49ers on the naughty list. Nice list goes to the Steelers, Commanders, and the Cardinals.
I am going to go nice list for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
I did not, look, I'm going to be honest, I did not buy into you coming into this year. I know Jim Harbaugh, is a really good coach. I just didn't think he could do it this quickly with that roster because you had so many holes.
Mm-hmm.
You're so far ahead of schedule to me that it's borderline comical. And then you look around the AFC, Cincinnati is not what you expected them to be. Cleveland's not. The Jets aren't. Miami's not. Indianapolis is not. Jacksonville's not. The only one that is up there with you is the other team that I'm going to go nice list for, the Denver Broncos. And now I will say, here's your path to righteousness. For the love of God, get your quarterback some weapons. Because it is paining me to watch Devin Vele and Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston and Gus Edwards, Jaleel McLaughlin. Like, this looks like a slew of XFL guys. How in the world are you two making the playoffs? It's a credit to your coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what happens once your schedules get a little tougher. But you're primed in very good shape because I don't see a great path. The reason I don't have any of these other teams on this list, I don't have a great path for you. Miami, I don't see how you're going to get all that much better. Cincinnati, if you're not going to fire Zach Taylor, you're not going to get any better. We're going to be doing the same thing next year.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a voting the other day it was somebody's top 5 MVP candidates. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were on it.
Mm-hmm.
That team is a full 3 games out of the playoffs with arguably 2 MVP candidates. That's how bad your defense is.
Yes.
So if you're the Chargers or the Broncos, you got to be looking around going, we're not as good as them. Looking at the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens. But give us a year, and who knows how much we can close that gap.
All right, that'll bring me to my final selection here, and I am going to select the Cincinnati Bengals. They're naughty lister for me. Again, I don't know how you did this. I mean, the defense has been atrocious. You need to rebuild that, but number one overall, I think what you need to do is you just need to blow it up, leadership-wise. You have pieces. You have one of the most threatening offenses in the entire NFL, but for some reason you can't get it all together. So you have to blow up the defensive leadership. You have to blow up the head coach. You have to make the most out of this unit that you have together.
And the problem is they won't. That's why I didn't have them on my list.
Yep. Yeah. One can always hope. Bengals fans, I hope.
So it's just too much loyalty. We saw this with Marvin Lewis, and now it just continues into a new era.
Mm-hmm. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. This has been a very, very tough year. It's been a very tough quarter of the year since Hurricane Helene struck western North Carolina. This morning, the iHeartMedia Asheville debut of the new song Only Hope from Nick Mack and The Noise. You can download the song at bandcamp.com. Just search Nick Mack. And the title of the song is Only Hope. Nick Mack is spelled Nickmac. All proceeds from the downloads. You can do it for just a little as $1, or you can donate as much as you want to, but all proceeds go into Valley Strong Disaster Relief. Here it is, Only Hope by Nick Mack and The Noise.
More than 4,500 wildfires burn across North Carolina every year. 99% of these wildfires are the result of human activities like backyard burning and campfires. That means most of our state's wildfires are avoidable. We need your help. 1. Never burn on a dry, windy day or leave your fire unattended. 2. Keep a water source, shovel, rake, and phone nearby. 3. Have a valid burn permit. You are our best defense. Learn more. Visit ncforestservice.gov. ncforestservice.gov.
Ho, ho, ho. Hey, Santa, what's with the green suit?
I'm going for a round at Green Man Brewery.
I don't think you have to wear green just to go to Green Man Brewery.
No, but it's nice to get in the spirit of things. They even have a white beard, white ale, just for me.
Well then, let's head to the Green Mansion in downtown Asheville. I could use a round too.
Visit me at the Green Mansion, Sunday, December 22nd from noon till 2. Happy holidays from Green Man Brewery.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
Jennifer Robinson, president of Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, on the importance of providing compassionate care to all.
I think you have to look at compassionate care in two different ways. It's compassionate care towards your staff, and it's compassionate care toward the residents. When the residents come into our building for short-term or long-term, it's important that they feel welcome, but it's important that they feel loved.
Discover the Sandstone difference today at sanstonehealth.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but it practice makes it perfect.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to see the mild weather here. Next couple of days could get close to 70 degrees on Wednesday. I think we'll fall short. Not much rain around, maybe a tenth of an inch or so. Most of it coming tomorrow. This afternoon, just an isolated shower. Partial sun otherwise, and not bad, 63. Tonight we only dropped to 50. Maybe a shower. Wednesday, the fog's back in the morning and a few widely scattered showers during the day. Ending Wednesday night, 68 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny, mid-50s. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Acura for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Acuras, including the RDX, MDX, and Integra. Apple Tree Acura is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at AppleTreeSuperstore.com and in person, I-26 at Airport Road, Asheville.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a slick machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 60 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best deal of the year when you go to bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine, premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail. For Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year, only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.